It really is like, do you know what this is like a really emo Taylor Swift. Like if Taylor Swift had taken like a very emo turn earlier in her life, this is what she would have been.
Yes, yeah, I can agree.
Hey guys, welcome back to Music in Bed. I'm Lawrence,
And I'm Ailish.
and we're here for patron album reaction. Thank you guys to everyone who voted in the last patron album poll. It was a tie between Sabrina Carpenter and Ethel Cain, so we had both of their albums sort of in the mix, and Ethel Cain's Preacher's Daughter won the poll. So we are going to be reacting to Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain.
Nice.
Um, album cover review.
I think we.
Well, we looked at it. If you are on YouTube and you're finding us for the first time and you're a bit confused as to what's going on, do check out our Patreon. We do have full uncut reactions there. Like and subscribe and comment, and let us know who you want us to react to next. The album cover review. If you have seen this on YouTube, it means you haven't seen the album cover review for this album yet. So we're doing this for your benefit. The guys on our Patreon don't see the edit, so.
I see. Yes. Okay. Well, you gotta join, so you can definitely get those edits, guys. Yeah. I still stand by the fact that this is like creepy still photo, like preacher's. Yeah, like the preacher's daughter. Like
I feel like it's like a haunted house sort
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah, like it's a photo on the wall. Like you know in those movies where they're like you get a tour through the house and it's supposed to be like a haunted house or like some house that you're staying at your auntie's in the middle of friggin' nowhere and it's supposed to be like a like scary movie, right?
Yeah.
You see all the photos on the wall and then you just see one with some like creepy girl in the photo. It's like that. It's like that. It's the creepy girl in the
Except
photo.
she's the creepy girl and she is the photo.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently. Well, based on the single we reacted to, like it'll be. I'm just gonna check if that was on here because we have like 13 songs on this album. So, looks as though, from what I can see, don't think the single we reacted to is on here. So that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know what to expect.
Neither do I. I'm keen to hear it. Obviously, she's gonna have a slightly different style.
Mm.
Just from that cover photo, I'm like, don't get weird. That's all right.
It could get weird. We have 13 songs. I'm sure that's deliberate.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
I'm sure that's deliberate. And it's over an hour and 15 minutes. So
Wow.
these are not exactly short tracks. I mean, there is a
No.
song here that's 7 minutes and 46 seconds. There's another song that's 9 minutes and 27 seconds. So these are long
There's
tracks.
some weird names as well.
Yeah. And then some names of songs we've come up with before. So Hard Times. We've definitely heard a song called Hard Times on this channel before.
Hard times.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, I have no clue what we're in for, and I am scared and excited at the same time.
Yeah, I reckon we'll just jump in, I think. I'm keen to hear what the weirdness is.
Yep, same. All right, so this is Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. The first song is Family Tree, which is an intro track.
Right, interesting.
There's lyrics, so it can't be that bad.
It's long as well, so.
Oh, I think I know who. Imogen Heap.
No. Much more famous one. She did a song with Weekend.
Ariana. Okay.
Alright then.
Nice. Lana?
Yes.
Yeah, right. A little bit of that. The production is very Weekend-esque though. It does have that sort of heavier.
Oh, it's just her voice. And like the style in which she sang it.
You've got me intrigued.
Oh my. I think that combination of like so it reminded me of Lana Del Rey just in terms of the way she sang that vocally. Like the music is different, still slow. Like some of Lana's music is slow, and then like she'll have that real like slow, drawly kind of singing style. It wasn't like the melody in the background and the instrumentation in the background per se.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting. Still in terms of like the lyrics and like the category of choice in terms of I should say like subject matter, not the exact subject matter, but the way she goes about singing it, very Lana Del Rey as well.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I like it so far. It's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I thought the production on that was really good. Yeah, really interesting production. And I am intrigued about the vocal mix. Like they've really pushed the vocal mix right to the back, which I feel like on headphones will make this a very different listening experience to listening to it on speakers. But I'm very excited to dig in and see what the rest of this album has in store for us, I think. So we're up to track 2, which is American Teenager. Classic 70s guitar. Jesus.
It's giving like this Taylor.
Emo Taylor Swift.
Yeah, legit.
The cool ad-libs are just so good. And guitar's a good ad too. What a banger. It really is like, do you know what this is like a really emo Taylor Swift. Like if Taylor Swift had taken like a very emo turn earlier in her life, this is what she would have been.
Yes, yeah, I can agree. I think that's a bit of a grower, to be honest. It's like I like the lyrics. They were super fucked up.
They were a little bit fucked up. Like, I'm guessing the start was describing a young, high schooler dying in a car crash. It's like what I got from the start.
Yeah.
Actually, another thing I'm picking up straight away with Ethel, is how easy it is for me to chew on her lyrics. Similar way to how Taylor can get me to chew on her lyrics as well. Like, I find that actually quite difficult. Most artists, their lyrics just go straight over me. Like, I don't absorb it. But this, I feel like I'm absorbing the lyrics really well, and I'm absorbing the production really well, and I'm really enjoying her vocals, and the vocal production on it is bloody great. I am thoroughly entertained so far.
The reason I think this is a grower is because I like the lyrics on this. It's quite good. The production actually isn't bad or anything like that. It's just a lot. There's a lot to take in terms of like the production for me at least. There's a lot going on, and then it's also very heavy in terms of the. It's not my usual thing, but like I could see myself listening to it eventually. If that makes any sense.
It falls right into my bag quite easily.
No, I knew that the moment it started playing, I knew that.
I listen to My Chemical Romance and The Weeknd. This falls right in that bag.
Well, it was like The Weeknd isn't even as busy as this in terms of production.
This is true.
And that's why I think like I'll listen to stuff like The Weeknd and it's fine. But there was a lot going on with this in terms of like the synths, the and production on this is quite heavy. And then there's not a lot of breathing room.
There's nowhere to breathe, Alice. You don't get to breathe.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll probably have another listen to this one and like it'll kind of settle in. I did like it, but it was just a lot though.
That's all right. Well, I'm enjoying it, so I reckon we push forward. So we're up to track 3, which is A House in Nebraska, our first marathon. 7.5-minute song. So far, that's there is going to be a song on this album called Thoroughfare that's going to be the longest song we've ever reacted to on this channel. So that should be interesting.
I mean, I think it's Metallica that has a song or something like that. So it's not like I haven't listened to it, but I definitely don't listen to it all the time.
All right, so this is House in Nebraska, also a long one.
And I still call home that house in Nebraska, where we found each other on a dirty mattress on the second floor.
Yuck.
While the world was empty, save you and I. Where you came and I left, and you left and I cried. Where you told me even if we died tonight that I'd die yours.
You got Simple.
But I still call home that house in Nebraska, where we found each other on a dirty mattress on the second floor.
What a sick track.
Mm.
Where do you even start with a song like that? Look, the story was bloody heartbreaking. And just her way of describing things, like I was saying before, like she just strikes me as like her style is very Taylor Swift-esque in terms of her writing. Her writing style is very much like that. It's incredibly descriptive, and like I feel like I really get what she's saying. But the other thing about this album so far that's really struck me is how gnarly the production is, like in a really good way. Like the production's like really like dirty, and like at times it's spacey, and at times it's like full. But like there's the songs like this where it's like really stripped back, where it needs to be focused on her vocals, where her vocals are like the centerpiece of the song. And then she just gives the music a second at the end to sort of have its own little bit as well, which is really great.
I feel like, yeah, I really liked this. It was I feel like this was written as if it was a confession or a diary entry.
Mm.
It was very much not something you would say to someone or with someone.
Mm.
It's some like talking to yourself, in a way that it was very emotional, and even like the piano in the background was erratic in terms of like it wasn't proper keynotes within certain sections. It was like as if someone had slammed their hands down on the piano. Um and it was very evoking just in terms of like the emotion that was in it as well.
Mm.
At the end of it, like when there was no more lyrics at the end part where they played out the music and stuff, it was like a release of essentially those emotions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt like that too for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely probably one of the most emotionally evoking songs, and like maybe because there's songs that you listen to where you get sad
Mm.
and you cry or whatever, but this is maybe a little bit more of like accurately in terms of how someone would feel, not necessarily trying to describe it to someone else,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense. Like with some of Taylor's songs, she's explaining the emotions and the feelings as if she's trying to convey that to you.
Mm.
Whereas this is written as if they're quite literally talking to themselves
Mm.
and the emotion is already there,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very private, very, yeah, I like it.
Awesome. Well, I reckon we push forward. So we're up to track 4, which is called Western Nights.
He's never looked more beautiful on his Harley in the parking lot, breaking into the ATMs, sleeping naked when it gets too hot. I watched him show his love through shades of
Oh,
Mm. Very heavy.
incredibly heavy. I really like the and this is like I'm sensing if this is a theme just with the production. I don't know if it's just on this album, but sort of the use of musical subtlety, like
Mm.
the choices, the musical choices are always quite subtle, save for American Teenager, which was a little chaotic, but
Mm.
like even in this one, like even right at the end there with like the pianos or like or somewhere in the middle of the song they were choosing to put in like little bits of like classic American rock guitar, like just those things to sort of like keep you emotionally pulled in was really interesting. I'll say that probably wasn't like my favorite song in the world, just in terms of like its style. It was probably not my thing. But I really enjoyed the production, particularly on that one again. Like so far, the production on this album's been really, really good. And her singing, yeah, once again, she's got an amazing voice. So it's pretty captivating, even when I don't think I would probably come back to it potentially. But I will listen through the album again, like in my own private time, because I have a feeling this is going to sound really different on headphones.
I think I really enjoyed that. I think that it definitely like soundscape wise. I think like the whole relationship basically is pretty toxic.
Yeah.
And it makes it. She sounds lonely.
Mm.
She sounds like she loves him and stuff, but she sounds lonely and she hasn't spoken to her dad in a long time or whatever. But the soundscape makes it sound lonely as well.
Yeah, it's like very empty, isn't it?
It's very empty.
But then there's those like little bits of excitement in there, like I was mentioning, like just these little motifs in there that like keep you wanting to continue on this like, and maybe that was very purposeful. Maybe it was supposed to sort of represent the emptiness of a
Yeah.
of a toxic relationship.
And I think that for me, it sounded really good. Because obviously it did sound like her voice sounds quite haunting at times.
Mm.
So I think it succeeded as a song in creating the atmosphere it was like she was trying to as well. Production, her voice, the way that was all set up. I really enjoyed that. It was very stripped back. And that was what they were going for.
Mm.
But yeah, she has a beautiful voice and like yeah, production was immaculate.
Yep. Awesome. So we're up to track 5, which is Family Tree, another long one, 7 minutes and 10 seconds. And all these tracks are very long, aren't they?
These crosses all over my body. I'm just a child, but I'm not above violence. My mama raised me better than I.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
When the preacher talks, that man demands his silence. I've killed before and I'll kill again.
Is that a confession?
Yeah.
Take the noose off, wrap it tight around my head. They say heaven hath no fury like woman scorn. And baby, hell don't scare me. I've been times before. So take me down to the river and bathe me clean. Put me on the back of your white horse.
The use of like classic American guitar is just really good.
These curses all over my body. And the bones I'm about to leave.
Jesus.
Take me down to the
It was really sick.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, everything about that song was really good.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like I don't even have like a gripe, really, to be honest with you. I think this would be really good in headphones.
No, I think it'd be awesome. I think that there's definitely a lot more layering to this song than you can kind of hear through just like the speaker.
Yeah.
I liked how this was almost like a combination of the intro song and this song because you can see family tree intro and then family tree.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was
Um,
wondering why she reused that line. I was like, oh god, like was that an oversight? But then, yeah, now that you've pointed out, so Family Tree intro is not an intro to the album. Family Tree intro is an intro song to Family Tree.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
I'm onto it.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
Yeah, because there's part of that song that's not in the intro one.
Yeah.
and
Makes sense.
It's very interesting with that because Bones is not what you think is what Bones. Did you get what they meant?
Fill it out.
Well, she said, "Let me ride your white horse," but I don't think it's a fucking white horse. I think she's riding someone's bones.
Nice.
And then she's like, "And bless these bones I'm about to leave." So I'm just like, so bless the bones of the guy that you were riding, and now bless like your bones. Is that what we're saying?
I completely read that a different way. Just like in the context of like obviously the start was very. So I actually took the start to be talking about like. Again, this seems to be going back to like a toxic relationship of sorts. But she's saying here that like she would kill him. Like that she wouldn't be afraid to do that to get out of the situation. And okay, maybe she is talking about that. But it sounds to me like this sounds like maybe a double entendre. It's a double entendre. She's definitely talking about murder too.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think that's more murder than
Murder.
the other stuff.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. I think it was like for a long song, I think they drew out the song in a good way.
Yeah.
They were able to have those breaks with really beautiful, American guitar style in between sections. Very slow, almost very sultry in a way through that. So I think they succeeded in doing that long song without it feeling too long.
Yeah. Well, none of the long songs so far felt particularly long. They've all been entertaining enough that I've gone. I haven't checked the count to go, where are we in this song?
Where are we?
But yeah, no, that I mean, and that's the sign of a good song.
Yeah.
Usually.
I would listen to that again.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'll put it on my playlist. I'll like that.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Awesome. So next up, track 6 is Hard Times, which may or may not be a cover of Paramore. It probably isn't a cover of Paramore, but here's to hoping. We all know how much I love that album. So.
All right, let's get into it.
Definitely not a cover. God, this is about her dad.
Hide me there under the leaves. I'm going on a tear. Lay it on me. Tell me a story about how it ends, where you're still the good guy. I'll make pretend I was too young to notice that some types of love could be bad. Praying I'd be like you, doing all of the things that you do, and I still do, and that scares me.
God.
I'm tired, too tired to leave. I'm tired, still tired to leave. Too tired to know, too tired to leave.
I don't know how you make a song so bloody hard to listen to, but that was really like it's a really good song. I'm gonna take a stab at what's going on here. Like, I think I know where you think it's where you think that went, but I disagree. I think it's about something else. So this to me sounds like this to me does sound like it is like she's singing about an abusive father, but she's also like it sounds to me like she's sort of afraid that like she's like him somehow, and that's like haunting her, like especially that like last third of the song where she's like repeating the same thing over and over again. This sounds like she's this sort of fear is like in her all the time, but it also sounds to me like he's not there anymore. This sounds like a person that is no longer with her. So I think all of that is really painful and very hard to hear, but she does such a great job of painting that picture and making you feel the emotions she's feeling. And like you said before, like she certainly does write. She has a style where she's writing very instantly to herself. Like it sounds like these are thoughts that she has for herself, and that she's like letting us in on it. And it feels like really kind of intimate, and at times quite. I feel like I shouldn't be hearing it, if that makes sense. Like it feels really private.
Yeah.
Which is cool and, you know, not horrifying, but it's cool, and it's kind of like, I don't know what the right word is.
Should I be here?
Should I be listening to this sort of thing?
Yeah.
I feel like I've done the wrong thing.
Invasive.
Like just listening to it, I feel like I've done the wrong thing. But it's like, it's really good.
Yeah, and that's what I meant earlier when I said private. Like it feels private.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that it's when she was singing it, I'm like, it sounds like he was an abusive dad in some kind of way.
Yeah, that definitely. Oh god, there's a music video. Go kill me. Oh, that's just a visualizer.
Ugh. I don't think I can handle that. Yeah, so it sounded like he was an abusive dad in some kind of way, like whether he was an alcoholic or something like that, or that like he would.
Right, it is exactly what you were thinking it was.
Yeah, okay, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was exactly what you were thinking it
Yeah,
was.
okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not good.
It was when she said that some types of love are wrong,
Yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, I think I
So I'm
know
guessing he
exactly
was a
what this
I'm guessing he was a preacher and like he was quite religious because
is. Yeah.
there is a lot of like she talks a lot about in this album so far. She's talked a lot about um like cross imagery on her all over her body. Now that makes sense. Now I understand what she's talking about there. Both as a metaphor for this, but then also as a metaphor of like a previous religion that she no longer adheres to.
Yeah.
And like that has a really horrifying like double meaning now, like looking back at it. But she's put it in such a way that it's like it fits in with the theme.
I do like the fact that she's not necessarily had to be particularly graphic with this in order to get this story across. It's quite hard to listen to even as a somewhat vague listening.
Yeah.
Right? So I think she's done it in a way that's still true to her form of writing without it being too visual for a listener. I think if she was to have been more graphic with this, it would have been quite hard to listen to. I really enjoyed this because it was an insight into someone's private mind. Just in terms of it being quite insightful, not being invasive, but like as in it's she does a fantastic job of telling a story without necessarily her explaining or emoting for you. It's like she is writing something that is a private thing and being invasive. You are listening.
And I was like in complete denial. Like I knew where you were thinking it was going because even like deep down, I was like, this doesn't. It feels wrong.
Yeah.
Like it felt really wrong, and I was like in denial about it as well. So it's really interesting how like she can make you feel that way. Because I imagine like, you know, for families, and it's really horrible, but for families of kids who've been through this sort of stuff, like a lot of the time, like a kid can say, like talk up and say something to an adult that they trust, and sometimes it goes ignored because, you know, that family member might be a trusted family member or, you know, and so like there's even that element to it that I felt like it was all sort of embedded in, like it was embedded in the music, in the lyrics almost. Like I had this sort of conflicting feeling like, okay, this feels wrong. Why does this feel wrong? I feel sad, but why do I feel sad? And like all of these things, and I'm like, she painted a really like now, like with the meaning now fully understood, like that, like it's kind of eerie.
Yeah, well, like the choice of wording saying that you know I was naive and there was wrong types of love, and then the other one which was I'm tired of bleeding when you want me to. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But yeah, like it's not always something that people are going to pick up on. A very hard topic, I'm sure, for her to sing. But she did a fantastic job of it, though.
Yeah, right. Well, that sort of hits sort of like the halfway point, sort of, because it's a 13-track album. I think we sort of summed up our thoughts so far. I think that that's sort of a really good halfway point just in terms of
I think so.
Like content and context and stuff. Before we dive in on like the next song, which is going to be like 9.5 minutes, we might take a break and just like stretch our legs a little bit. But yeah, when we come back, I reckon we'll dive straight in because that effectively isn't mid-album review what we've just sort of spoken about, I think. But sort of briefly, like, what are your thoughts so far, just generally speaking, and where do you think we're going for the next half, or where do you hope we go the next half?
Well, there's definitely some interesting names for the second half.
Mm.
For some of the names. I think that so far through this, I think she's been very candid about her life and experiences.
Mm.
And it's all been quite melancholy.
Yeah.
I think it will probably continue along those roads for the rest of the songs as well.
Mm.
It would be interesting to see whether there is a more uplifting song in there somewhere towards the end, whether she tries to like do a happy ending kind of thing at the end or something like that.
Mm.
I mean, sun bleached flies, maybe. I don't know. No idea. But yeah,
Maybe
like
don't do that. Maybe don't bleach the flies.
maybe try not to. Yeah, I get the feeling that the rest of the album is going to follow along those lines as well.
Mm.
I think it looks like maybe there's some talk about some of the religion, possibly. Not sure.
And her favorite electric guitar by the sounds of it.
But yeah, so I think that's really all I can give, because it like this kind of album is very unforgiving, but also you don't really know where it's going
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't know what topics you're gonna dive into next.
Because this is a bit more personal, so this is like a little bit less about like telling a made up story and than it is about telling an actual story.
Mm.
So I have no idea where this is going, to be honest.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're gonna go on a quick break, and we will be back shortly. All right, we're back from our break. One of us stretched our legs, and the other one just continued to rot on the bed. So cool. So we'll listen to the next track, which is track 7. It is the longest track on the album. It is called Thoroughfare.
You fell in love with America when you were 12 years old. And by 17, you knew you had to see it all. You loved your dad and the love he had for your mother, so you had to get out and go chasing that sweet call. Anywhere,
Strange Danger.
I hopped right in, out of luck to spend, and at least your truck beats walking. And you said, hey, do you wanna see the West with me?
So take me to my destination.
'Cause love's out there and I can't leave it be. You found heaven and time with your western sunshine met my deep southern wind.
Uh-huh.
What?
Got lost in it, and yet you found yourself hard pressed for it and sweating. You
Fair enough.
said, hey, do you wanna see the West with me? 'Cause love's out there and I can't leave it be. And then you turned to me instead, and to me deep, and said, well, maybe not. 'Cause look at what I've got. You might not be my love, but baby, I doubt it. And you said, hey, do you wanna
Nice. Sounds like love to me.
Sounds like it.
see? 'Cause love's out
Fair enough.
Was she?
Also, how does this go for another 3 minutes?
Oh, what?
I feel like that's a really great place to end the song. FYI.
I thought that you
I think
liked
it could
long
get away.
endings.
I think it could get away with the 7-minute song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you like long endings to songs?
Okay, but like not 2.5 minutes. Jesus. I think it's literally just this until the end of the song.
Yeah.
Voice is good.
What'd you think?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm loving the so how the songs start off this like really stripped back like production, and then you get this like cathartic sort of unleashing of the drums and the guitars, and just to sort of underscore the emotion of the song. I also loved the story. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
How like she effectively was a hitchhiker and I've been falling in love with the person who was supposed to just be taking her somewhere. So that's funny. The imagery was very stark, but that's fine. I got the message this time.
You sure? You sure?
Yeah, definitely got it.
You know, I really liked that. Yeah, it was a fun story to kind of listen through as well. It ended how I thought it was gonna end. I was just like, I know where this is going. But no, it was a good story. I did really like the production through this. It's like that slow start into the guitar and everything. I don't think this needed to be 9 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Could have ended at
Yeah.
7.5 minutes.
Yeah,
You didn't need that little ad lib section at the end.
Yeah, which got weird. Got a bit strange there at the
It
end.
get a bit weird. That's alright.
But other than that, no, I liked that. That was good. That was fun.
Awesome. So to track 8, which is called Gibson Girl. So I'm going to guess that Gibson's her favorite guitar or something, because there's a lot of electric, like 70s style electric guitar in this album, and this has an explicit. It's the only explicit song on here other than Family Tree, the intro. So well then, just these first lyrics. Maybe it means something else. Weekend, is this you?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Definitely The Weekend. Cool.
I like
Cool
that.
effect. Yeah. This is like a Weekend song from the other perspective. Haven't heard her up in this register yet. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that was like the most Weekend
Mm.
song I have heard, not sung by the Weekend.
Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me.
You alive?
I am alive.
All right. Yeah, that was really good. I think the production, that was probably like on this album so far, it's been pretty simple use of instrumentation. There hasn't been a lot of vocal editing, and there hasn't been a lot of like, what I'd say, like overly produced stuff. But that is probably the most produced song I think we've heard so far.
Well, aside from the one up the top.
Yeah, aside from the one at the top.
Yeah.
So
American Teenager, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that just has like more instrumentation, it's not necessarily more produced. Like this one had vocal production to it that I haven't heard through this whole album yet. And there's some really cool effects in that. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed that more than American Teenager in terms of like the style with that. But I think that's because while it was a bit more complex in terms of production and everything, it was a little bit more slowed down, not quite as busy, if that makes sense. I like the texture through this as well. There was a lot of texture going on through the edits, through over the voice. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this. It was definitely like a more Weekend vibe that was going on. Yeah.
Very strong Weekend vibe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, up to track 9, which is called Ptolemaea. Now this is interesting because I don't know what that refers. I don't know who she's referring to here. I'm guessing we'll find out. But Ptolemy is a famous Greek, like an ancient Greek family. So Cleopatra was a Ptolemy.
Okay. Right.
That was the family, like their last name, basically.
Right.
So interested to see if this has anything to do with that.
Maybe. I mean, it's religious, technically.
Yeah, maybe she announces here that she's ancient Egyptian, like she follows the ancient Egyptian religion.
If anything, I would say it would probably just have more to the sacrificial rite or something. But I don't know.
Maybe. Find out. Oh dear.
I followed you in. I was with you there. I invited you in. Twice I did. You locked the 2 nights.
What?
But not like I do.
Fuck?
Is it the devil?
Like I do. Didn't excel you.
Even the iron still feels the right light from something I cannot stand. Walking on shadows I can't lead them back. Backward on the floor at night comes along. Daddy's left and
This is fucking weird.
I told you it would be weird religious sacrificial stuff.
Oh, this is really hard to listen to. Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
I knew by the name of the song.
That's a major skip. That's a skip into the ground sort of skip. What the fuck? You know, actually, even worse, that song should be like, I don't know, every server that this song exists on should be blown up, and then every pressed copy of this song should be buried in a ditch and then set on fire. And then we should sacrifice whoever wrote it to the devil.
For Ethel then?
You get it. Probably what he wants.
I think he doesn't like it. I don't think he likes it.
Yeah, that song I could have done without my brain. Like, you know, it's just sort of now in there. So, like, it's not leaving. So now, like, this fucking character, it's haunting me forever. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, I assumed it would be a very strange song.
How has it got 18 million plays? It's got more plays than, like, the last 4 songs.
It's probably because it's a really weird song. People are like, listen
Ha,
to
you need to listen to Ptolemaea. Have fun. I dare you.
Pretty much. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I didn't love this song because it is a bit weird and it's a bit hard to listen to. I can appreciate the effort that went into it and even some of the production, but this is not something that I would say is like a listening song.
Yeah, no, it's a listen once and never listen again song.
It's
But-
obviously supposed to create like a vibe or like it's supposed to fit in with the theme of the album, and I get it, it does. But in saying that, yeah, it's not something that I will come back to listen to.
I think she creates the feeling that she wants to create with the song in terms of like it's supposed to feel unsettling, and
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
And then it's supposed to feel really uncomfortable, and it does.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I don't listen to music to be uncomfortable, so I won't listen to it.
Fair enough.
But
fair
good
enough.
job, nice production. I did sort of on an up note, like I did sort of appreciate that little scream and then
So did I.
into the drums. Yeah,
So
that was
did
pretty
I.
good.
I was like, you know what? That's some good effort.
It's fairly good.
So the production, that's why I liked the production on this, because it was well done, but it's obviously a very unsettling song. So I won't be listening to that song again. But I can appreciate that, certainly that smaller section through there, especially. Yeah.
Awesome. So up to track 10, which is called August Underground. This is the shortest song on the album. No, the next song is the shortest song. This must just be music then. Fucking interlude. Another thing I'll do is for all the interludes. What?
I don't know. I still kind of enjoyed that.
I think interludes could just die.
Chill out. Jesus.
They serve no musical purpose, and no one can change my mind about that.
Someone could do over the.
I'll let it play through to track 11, Televangelism. I'm guessing all part of one interlude because there's no lyrics in this either.
Did they not like face it throughout the album? Well,
Couldn't have.
that is probably something that I would say, like, if you're gonna do interludes and stuff, and it's just gonna be.
Well, they could have made it one interlude at that point because it's like 6 minutes and 43 seconds, which is still shorter than a majority of the album.
I think better placement. Yeah, would be a good idea.
This would have been actually quite good before Gibson Girl, actually.
Yeah.
But it's just a way to break up
Mm.
the album before the next 2 really intense tracks.
I'm assuming that's maybe what they meant to do, but they've just not.
Maybe this is like to come down after Ptolemaea because Ptolemaea is like sort of beating you over the head a little bit.
Probably. Oh, I writer. I do like the band in this.
Yeah, the music's good.
Yeah. Very beautiful. Either that or they've used them as filler songs so they can make it 13 songs.
Don't use the filler word. Da da da.
Is that a trigger word for someone?
Da da da. No, there's no such thing as filler songs, Eilish. All music is equally valid.
Okay.
At least that's what some artists would say. The label didn't make me make this song, I swear.
I swear it. I mean, I appreciate the.
I kind of prefer the second one, Televangelism, to the first one. It sounds a little bit like, I don't know, sort of hopeful. Is sort of the sound that I'm getting from
Yeah,
it.
it's like the hope after the storm. It's like August was the storm, which is August is supposed to be a stormy period.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, this one's like the.
Is it?
I need to find out what the name of that, what that word means. By the way, like what?
Televangelism.
Yeah.
I would imagine
I mean, evangelism.
evangelism. I imagine this is evangelism on television. Is what I would imagine.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would guess that would mean.
I just want to.
Maybe that's what it. Maybe that's what that whole thing symbolizes. That song. It's like sounds really uplifting and hopeful, and then at the end it's like all skewed and it's all warped and it's all just like a trick, or just to rope you in. Well, I was roped in.
It was a good. I liked it. I like this.
It was definitely better than the first interlude. I still just don't like interludes. No one can change my
We
mind about that.
know.
I just want to like
We
remind
know.
everyone in case they've forgotten. I don't like
Anytime
interludes.
soon. Sun Beached Flies.
Sun bleached flies.
Maybe they've been beached as well. I don't know.
Track 12. Oh, they're inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Sun bleached flies sitting in the window sill, waiting for the day they escape.
I think flies can talk.
But I wouldn't
I don't think that's what they are.
in church this Sunday,
Just like old biddies.
listening to the choir so heartfelt, all singing, God loves you, but not enough to save you. So you just hit him twice as hard. But in the end, if I had been under the weight that they gave me, God, I tried. But I think it's about time I put up a fight. But I don't mind, 'cause that's how my daddy raised me. If they strike once, then you just hit 'em twice as hard. But I
Fair enough.
always knew that in the end
Mm. Like saxophone? Sounds like a sax. They've got the 80s drums going, and they've got the 80s brass. Hmm?
Nebraska.
Ah. Mm. I like how she's written back to that. That's good.
Dancing with the windows open, I can't let go. When something's broken, it's all I know, and it's all I want now.
Mm.
Yeah, organ in the background.
Mm.
I enjoyed that. Good.
It was really good. I actually think, like, so far, like that and yeah, American Teenager are definitely my favorites so far. Like, that's really good. Like that one ticked all my boxes. One thing I'm actually really enjoying about the album, even for songs I don't like,
Mm.
I find that she is able to put me emotionally in a place where I'm guessing she wants me to be for the song.
Mm.
Like just as atmospherically,
Yeah.
the songs all have like a sound to them that's very sort of all encompassing and sort of just like it's like a sonic hug. It like sonically hugs you into whatever sound that is, even if the sound's horrifying. Like you know what I mean? Like even if
Yeah.
it's like emotionally really horrifying, it gets you like you feel surrounded by it, like you can't escape it, whatever it is. So in this one, it felt really like again, this felt very like it felt like she was in a place of like contemplation, but she was like it feels like we're at the end of this sort of like recovery journey that she's obviously had to go through.
Yeah.
And it feels like the end of that recovery journey where she's like, okay, you know, this is kind of who I am. This is what I want. This is what I've been through. But all of that doesn't really matter at the end of the day because God isn't going to save me. You can pray and pray, and nothing will change. So it is what it is. I'm going to die an old lady on a porch. Whatever. That's kind of the image that I got.
Yeah, because obviously she references back to the song about Nebraska,
Mm.
and how she misses her partner and that she still calls Nebraska home.
Mm.
And then it's basically her saying, so the sun-bleached flies are like women who've had babies and stuff like that. They have families and all that stuff, and they're sitting on their house like talking about money and their children and all this kind of stuff. They're the flies. Okay, so they're loitering, they're sitting around and they're waiting for something to happen. And she knows that, like in her own mind, in her own thing, she's like, "That's not me.
Mm.
I'm gonna dance with my windows open. And I'm gonna I'm not waiting for God to help me.
Mm.
I'm not waiting for something to happen. And people can sing and pray all day, but I've got to help myself, kind of thing. And I'm just going to accept that this is my life.
And I really love that because it's like there's like a freedom in it. Like the sound, like her coming to that sort of realization is like freeing.
Yeah.
Like emotionally, it's very freeing, and like lyrically, it's very freeing, and like just all of that. The sounds in that song, all of them, like the 80s sort of callbacks with the drums and the saxophone, especially. The choices of production in this album so far. I mean, we've got one more song to go,
Yeah.
which is the single, by the way. Like, it's not just a small song. So,
Okay.
but like the sounds in this album have been just phenomenally good every single time we've heard something. Like, it's been unique. Like, the sound is really unique.
Her sound is very beautifully subtle.
Yeah.
So like even with the horns and the drums and all this, it's almost like an echo through a hall.
Mm.
So like the it's not in the same room,
Mm.
and it's like she's singing in a separate room. And it's like a haunting call from another room, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
there's a band playing in a separate room and she's singing in another one, and it's just really subtle, basically. Um, but I love it because it's still quite light, quite or quite uplifting comparatively to the other soundscapes that she's given you in her other songs.
Mm.
You can tell this is a little bit lighter
Mm.
when you listen to her to another song she's got there. Just go back and have a listen. But this is quite light and airy in a way, and then she's there as well to make it more uplifting. So
Mm.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of the album. So this is the last track. So track 13 was also a single. It's called Strangers.
Strangers?
Strangers.
Stranglers.
Hope not.
In your basement, I grow cold. Thinking back to what I was always told. Don't talk to strangers, or you might fall in love.
What?
Freezer bites your sweet divine. You devour like smoke, bovine hide. How funny, I never considered myself tough. We'll make love in the echo night. You forget some strange delight. I'm happier here, 'cause he told me I should be loud. You're so handsome when I'm all over you. I'm all over you when I'm all over you. I try to be good, am I? No good, am I? No good, am I? No good, with my memory restricted to a Polaroid and evidence. And I'm making you feel, and I'm making you feel sick. And I'm making you feel, and I'm making you feel sick.
Conflicted about that one a little bit. Like I really loved the first, say, 2/3 of it,
Mm,
and I'm not a huge fan of how it ended.
mm,
But like overall, the song was quite good. I don't have any issue with that. I loved. It's interesting because there was definitely a more contemporary sound to that one than
Mm.
the rest of the album. The rest of the album felt older,
Mm.
older in sound, and this one definitely felt like the instrumentation, at least the production, felt more modern. Like it felt like they were using different drums and a different guitar. There was definitely a different guitar being used in this than there was to all the other tracks. I'm guessing that's sort of to symbolize the sort of growth that she's had. Like I'm guessing most of this album is set in the sort of past, this era of the photograph, I'm guessing, sort of thing. Whereas like this is sort of like well down the line, well after the fact. And maybe where she is now. So I'll be sort of interested to see, like, because this, we'll get to the review in a sec, but obviously this being a debut album, it's very interesting to hear the sound and like whether she'll stick with it going forward.
I was confused by this one
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't know where this is going. I'm like, it says so the name is Strangers, and then in terms of the context, sorry. Excuse me. Telling not that well. Yeah, like she said, oh yeah, when my mom goes to the shops and then she finds my face on a dairy carton.
Mm.
I assume this was in a setting where, like, I don't know, maybe she'd been like abducted, or maybe like she was with her partner heaps, so much so that like it seemed like she'd gone missing or something. But I seriously don't 100% know. It was a little conflicting in terms of like the information on it. What does it say?
Murdered and cannibalized by Isaiah,
Okay,
Ethel says her final goodbye to her mother from beyond the grave.
right. Yes, cool. So I wasn't wrong. I thought it might have been cannibalism, but I was like, I don't know. I was correct.
Yeah.
Okay, it was as fucked up as I thought it was gonna be.
Very fucked up.
Yeah, when she kept singing, Am I making you sick? Am I making you sick? Or do I make you feel sick? Or whatever. I was like, this sounds like they've eaten her.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was like, I'll see you when you get here, mum, or whatever. I was like, in hell or like in death? Is that what you mean?
Now this whole song makes sense to me.
Yep, all over your mouth.
Mm,
Yeah, that's not quite what we thought it was.
mm.
Yeah. So that was, yeah, it's quite a lot.
Freezer Bride. Oh God.
Okay, that definitely makes a lot more sense.
Okay,
I was really confused for a second.
so wait a minute. So wait a minute. So wait a damn minute. So wait a second. So actually, that attic scene is not what we thought it was. That is actually way more fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
She's a freezer bride, and that's just no. I don't like any of that.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm
Mm.
happy here because he told me I should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, this sounds like she's been like abducted, but then I
Mm.
wasn't sure. I was just like, what the. And then like the whole fridge thing, and then her being on the side of a carton, I was like, and then it was like all over my mouth. I was like, that could be two different things.
Yeah. That's fucked up. But it was so well produced, so I have like no complaints.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm traumatized. I need help.
Yeah, that was really extreme lyrics. I still kind of enjoy it because it's so just out of.
Well, it's definitely the last song of the album for a reason. She's dead.
She is now dead.
She's now dead. Oh God. All right.
Uplifting song and then death.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Nice. Cool. Album review.
I'll go first, and then Lawrence can go through his.
I just need to like.
Needs
I
to
just need to like process.
I kind of loved this because it was so just fucked up.
It was majorly fucked up, wasn't it? Like there is actually no other word. There's actually no other way to put this album. It is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
It is very heavy. It's
Yeah.
incredibly
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
to listen to.
I will say that like I'm not feeling well, so this might be also part of it too. But like whenever I listen to albums or songs where it's like quite heavy in terms of like the content of it, I'll be quite tired. And
Yeah.
I'm at this stage I'm quite tired after listening to this. It is quite lyrically heavy and in depth. The production on this is really good. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't anything really lacking in this. I think maybe one of the songs could have been a little bit shorter.
Mm.
Um,
I think we both agreed that Thoroughfare should have been a couple of minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Because it nailed it like up until the 7-minute mark. It was fine. In fact, one thing I was worried about at the start of the album was how long a lot of the tracks were. But what I found was actually a lot of them do need that sort of time to sort of marinate all
Yeah.
these really deep and really sometimes heavy topics.
yeah.
But the way that they produce it, they sort of let you in gently with the music and the production. They really strip it back, but then they hit you over the head with it towards the end and just like absolutely knock you out with the production, like in the most positive way.
Yeah. A lot of these are their stories,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time with stories and like the atmosphere that they create, you're gonna have to let them marinate with the sound, the atmosphere, the textures that they're giving. And I think because these songs are quite in depth, having them be so long is not an issue necessarily. With some other artists and some of their songs, I would say that these are too long and I wouldn't do it. But because of the way that these songs are produced and just what's in them, they've done it really well. I say that like it kind of really lets you settle into that song, like you're feeling that song.
Yeah.
Not all these songs are going to be something that I would listen to on a regular basis. They're very much you have to be in the mood to listen to these or be in a certain mindset to listen to some of them. Some of them are a little bit more like emotionally evoking. Some of them they're the kind of song I listen to once because it's part of the theme of the album and it's worth listening to and they're really well produced, but it's not a song that I will listen to. Yeah, I'd say the majority of the songs on this I liked. I'd say that I really wasn't a fan of, was it Ptolemaea?
Ptolemaea.
Ptolemaea,
Yeah.
Wasn't my thing. I'd say it's definitely part of the experience of this album. Absolutely. But that's what it is. It's an experience and it's to kind of envelop you in that. But I wouldn't say it's like my kind of thing. Some people will be into this. But it's not my kind of thing. I would say that I would probably still listen to August and Televangelism.
Yep.
They're kind of nice in terms of just listening to something be in the background, really. They're beautifully produced. One being quite light and the other one feeling a little bit more dark and ominous. Yeah, I think that's probably my overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an album of really, really like emotionally disgusting lows and like production highs, vocal highs, lyrically engaging highs. The production and her vocals in particular really carry this album. Like and like the lyrics are great, but the lyrics being great about the topics that she's singing about is really difficult on its own.
Yeah.
You really need to have your production in order for it to be palatable. And despite some of the horrific nature of some of these songs, the music is beautiful.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
like the most haunting way sometimes. I really found it interesting the use of like the old 70s guitar in the first like 95% of the album, and then right at the very end in Strangers, how that disappears suddenly and it was just a completely different sound. Maybe now that we know that she's dead, maybe that's got something to do with it. I know she's not dead, but like in the song "Dead," like in the world of the album, like this is a concept album, so and it's a very well written concept album, and there's not a lot of concept albums that are really good about a character. And this character obviously is now dead. So my guess for the future is like she's gonna do something very different, I would imagine, for her next project if she was to do it. So this, I feel like, will live in its own little thing, which I think that's like I like artists that can do that. It'll be interesting to see if she does. Some favorites for me. I really liked American Teenager, really liked Family Tree, and I really liked Some Bleached Flies. I thought they were really great songs.
Yeah.
I'll definitely listen to those on my own, but I will listen through this album. I may do a review on our Album of the Year page. We do have an Album of the Year page now, so if you check out the description in our Patreon, you can find that. If you're on YouTube, check it out in the description to read our reviews there, because we're also a review channel. But yeah, really enjoyed that, and thank you to the guys and girls on the Patreon who voted for the album. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Unexpected in a lot of ways, and I'm looking forward to hearing what she does next.
Yeah, I agree. I will go back through this and I'll take out a couple of these songs and drop them in my post as well. Yeah, I'm keen to see what she does for her next one. How many is it? 3 albums? Good out.
No, this is her first and only.
Oh,
It's
first
the only
and
one
only,
that she
okay.
has. Yeah.
Oh, she got some singles. Is that what it is?
She's got one EP,
One
and then
EP.
she's got some singles, but this is her debut album. This is her
Okay.
first album. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I really enjoyed that. I will look forward to a few more suggestions for kind of in-depth like this. I like concept albums, to be honest. They're probably my favorite albums to listen to.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. If you are on the Patreon, thank you for signing up. And if you are on YouTube and you want to see these reactions uncut and in their fullest, check out the Patreon in the description. But for today, that's it. We will see you guys next week. See you later.